The Sherman shook so hard I felt it in my teeth. Every bump in the road rattled the hull, and the engine's scream vibrated through my boots. I had my hands locked on the controls, eyes pressed to the periscope, trying not to think about how exposed we were. Then the first shell hit. The impact threw me sideways and slammed my helmet into the steel. The intercom exploded with shouting, my crew yelling, the commander screaming orders I could barely hear over the ringing in my ears. Smoke poured in, sharp and oily. I tried to shift gears. Nothing. I forced the lever again. It wouldn't move. The transmission was dead. "We're stuck," I yelled, my voice cracking. Enemy tanks rolled out of the trees ahead of us, their barrels already turning our way. I knew what would happen if we stayed inside. I grabbed my wrench kit, kicked the hatch open, and climbed out into open fire. The air outside felt louder somehow. Bullets cracked past me as I scrambled onto the back deck, ripping open the engine panel. My hands were shaking, slick with oil and sweat, as I tried swapping parts, working on pure instinct. That's when the world turned white. The shell hit us square in the side. The blast lifted the tank and threw me through the air. I hit the ground hard, knocking the breath clean out of me. When I rolled over, my Sherman was burning, just a twisted, flaming wreck. My crew was gone. I didn't scream, I couldn't, I just ran. I moved through smoke and chaos, past burning tanks and shouting men, not knowing who was winning or losing. At some point, the battlefield moved on without me. I was alone. That's when I saw it. A German Panzer sat half hidden near a hedgerow, its engines still warm. The crew lay nearby, motionless. I stared at it for a long moment, knowing how insane the idea was. Then I climbed inside. Everything was wrong, the controls, the labels, the feel of it, but when I turned the ignition and the engine growled to life, something steady settled in my chest. Steel was steel. If it moved, I could fight in it. I drove that stolen tank straight back into the battle. I fired from shadows, hit targets that never saw me coming. German troops scattered, shouting warnings, unsure whose side I was on. For hours, I existed in a blur of smoke, recoil, and adrenaline. I wasn't American or German anymore, I was just trying to stay alive. By morning, the tank was battered and nearly out of ammo. I headed for a narrow bridge, praying it would take me back toward friendly lines. Halfway across, the enemy found me. A shell slammed into the bridge supports. The structure groaned beneath me, concrete cracking, steel screaming. I floored the throttle as the bridge gave way. The tank dropped nose first into the river. Water rushed in, icy and violent. I clawed my way out of the hatch as the tank vanished beneath the surface. I surfaced downstream, choking and shaking, watching smoke rise where the bridge used to be. I crawled onto the riverbank and lay there, soaked, bruised, and breathing. I had lost one tank to the enemy and another to the river. I had fought the war from both sides of steel, and somehow I was still alive.